Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where we're doing another one of our presenter-led 10s. As we all know, money is tight across Europe right now, so I'm profiling 10 players your side could promote from their youth ranks to save their season. Let's get into it. 10. Japhet Tanganga. When 20-year-old Japhet Tanganga burst onto the scene in January 2020 in a 1-0 defeat to Liverpool, a game in which he put 4 tackles and interceptions in and won 100% of his aerial duels, it seemed the Hackney-born defender was here to stay. And whilst a further 5 Premier League appearances followed towards the end of that season, this year he has found game time harder to come by, with just 3 Europa League and 1 Carabao Cup appearance under his belt. Sadly for the 21-year-old, he doesn't have much cause for complaint. At the time of writing, Mourinho's men have conceded just 15 league goals, 8 fewer than at this stage last season and the second best record behind Man City. And whilst Alderweireld and Dier look like Jose's chosen duo, there might be an opening at right back. Matt Doherty is largely disappointed thus far, being dribbled past 1.3 times per 90, more than 3 times his amount from 2019-20, whilst the much improved Serge Aurier showed that trademark rashness in giving away that penalty against Leicester City. Perhaps it's time for Tanganga to be given a run on the right flank or shipped out on loan. Crystal Palace or Leeds could certainly use it. 9. Joao Pedro. Full credit to Watford's scouting department for finding Joao Pedro, who they signed from Fluminense in October 2018 before he had even made his debut. By the time he arrived on these shores in January 2020, he had scored 10 goals in 37 appearances, including a hat-trick in the Copa Sudamericana, and become one of the most talked about prospects in Brazilian football. Having only been given 22 minutes of Premier League action prior to Watford's relegation, he was handed the number 10 shirt and a larger role at the start of this season. 3 goals in his first 6 games has been followed by just 2 in his next 10, and new manager Xisco Munoz hasn't included him in a squad yet. We can't help but think this is a mistake. Currently averaging 3.2 shot creating actions and 2.1 dribbles per 90, we feel that Joao Pedro could offer some much needed dynamism to a team with the 13th best attack in the division, currently languishing in 6th. 8. Ki-Jana Hoever. Unsurprisingly for a club that has lost £55 million worth of talent in Doherty and Jota, and seen key men Johnny, Willy Boly and Raul Jimenez sidelined, Wolves are struggling somewhat. 1 win in their last 7 Premier League games has seen them slip to 13th, just 3 points clear of perennial strugglers Newcastle. And one of the main reasons for that, we feel, is the form of their right back Nelson Semedo. A 2-time La Liga champion, Semedo cost the club €30 million, but has thus far only proved why Barcelona were so keen to get rid of him, looking error-prone at the back and creating just 0.7 chances per 90, 12th in the Wolves squad. One alternative is Ki-Jana Hoever. Signed for £8 million this summer as part of the Diogo Jota deal, the 18-year-old has been given just 119 minutes of Premier League action to date. But in his 1 start against Man United, he didn't let down his side, completing 3 tackles, a figure only topped by Ruben Neves on the pitch, and also creating a chance. His performance was so assured, in fact, that Marcus Rashford was forced to switch to the opposite flank, where he eventually forced the winner. Perhaps it's time for the Dutch under-18 international to be given an extended run in the side. Before I go any further, just a quick reminder to subscribe to Football Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss one of our fantastic top 10s. 7. Noni Madueke. If you haven't heard of Noni Madueke, the chances are you will in 2021. A product of the Spurs Academy, the 18-year-old Englishman made the unusual decision of rejecting Man United in June 2018, instead signing for PSV. After being handed just 116 Eredivisie minutes in 2019-20, Madueke has established himself this term with 13 appearances, 4 of which have been starts. Exceptionally versatile, the physical left footer has found himself playing as a number 10 on both flanks, in midfield and as a central striker, and has responded with 5 goals and 4 assists and an average of a goal contribution every 65 minutes. Despite playing just 46% of the available minutes, no PSV player has contributed more goals, and his numbers look exceptional. The long talked about Daniel Malin, 3 years his senior, takes just 0.3 more shots per 90, whilst he ranks 3rd for key passes and 1st for dribbles in the Boren squad. Currently 1 point off Ajax after 14 games, Madueke has a great chance to win PSV's 2nd title in 5 years before a Premier League club will no doubt swoop. 6. Teddy Jenks. Unless you are a die-hard Brighton fan, there is literally no chance you have heard of Teddy Jenks. The 18-year-old has only made 2 EFL Cup appearances to date, barely the sign of a first-team push in 2021, but that's before you take in his performances at youth level. Playing in the Premier League Division 1 against players often 3 or 4 years older, Jenks has featured in every one of Brighton's 12 games, helping them to 7th above Man United and Arsenal. But the youngster isn't just featuring at that level but excelling, with 5 goals and 1 assist in just over 1,000 minutes. Some might think at only 18, surely it's worth letting Jenks just develop longer in the youth side. But you have to factor in Brighton's position. The Seagulls are just 3 points clear of relegation as it stands, and only Neal Maupay has scored over 2 league goals. If now isn't the time to throw in a prodigiously talented and creative youngster with an eye for goal, when is? 5. Bryan Reynolds. No, you don't need to adjust your screens. We aren't suggesting anyone needs to sign up new Wrexham owner Ryan Reynolds, but instead his almost namesake 19-year-old right-back Bryan Reynolds. The 6'3" youngster has caused quite a stir recently, with Roma and Juventus said to be interested in signing the FC Dallas fullback. A fee of just over £7 million is expected to be enough to land its signature, and should they do so, frontrunners Juventus are expected to loan him out for the rest of the 2020-21 campaign. What can we tell you about Reynolds though? Well, it's clear he's got absolutely bags of potential. Although he is inexperienced, he's only made 27 MLS appearances for FC Dallas. A confident dribbler, he completed 1.3 take-ons per 90 in 2020, alongside 2.5 tackles and interceptions. Physically ahead of his time, he's also no slouch with the ball, completing 57% of his long balls in 2020, 8% more than Trent Alexander-Arnold in 2019-20. While Reynolds is yet to be truly tested at the top level, the evidence is there to suggest he could be the perfect long-term successor to Juan Cuadrado at Juventus. 4. Dušan Vlahović. Like many clubs mentioned on this list, Fiorentina aren't in the best of states. Just 3 wins from their opening 15 league games of the season have left them just 4 points clear of the drop zone. There have been 2 bright spots in an otherwise miserable campaign. That 3-0 victory over Juventus, just their second in 14 attempts, and the recent form of striker Dušan Vlahović. Signed from Partizan for £1.7 million in June 2018, Vlahović largely underwhelmed prior to this campaign, with 8 goals in 44 appearances. But recently the full-cap Serbian has come alive, with 3 goals in 4 games, including strikes against Sassuolo and Juve. The game against the Bianconeri was the perfect example of his talent, as he used his muscular frame to win 7 aerial duels and calmly tucked away a penalty. And whilst Vlahović certainly has plenty to work on, only getting 23% of his efforts on target this term, 10th in La Viola's squad, no one can top his 2.9 shots per 90. If new boss Cesare Prandelli wants to see Fiorentina climb the table, his best bet is Vlahović, who badly needs game time to build on his recent good form. 3. Emile Smith Rowe. It's fair to say that on Christmas Day 2020, Arsenal were not in a good place at all. Without a win in 7 Premier League games, with losses to Villa, Wolves, Burnley and arch-rival Spurs in that time, they had plummeted to 15th, just 4 points clear of Fulham. At that stage, Emile Smith Rowe's season had consisted of just 119 minutes of Europa League action, spread across 3 games, and a 24-minute cameo against Man City in the Carabao Cup. But thrust into the limelight by Mikel Arteta for a crucial clash against Chelsea, Emile Smith Rowe excelled, laying on 2 chances for teammates, one of which leading to a goal. It's no coincidence that Smith Rowe's ability to take the ball in tight spaces and quickly pass the ball on has seen Arsenal score 8 goals in their last 3 games, as many as they scored in their previous 13. Whilst his 0.8 shots and 0.8 dribbles per 90 suggests Smith Rowe still has plenty to work on, no one can top his 2.3 key passes per 90 in the Gooners squad. It's clear that Smith Rowe is an enormous part of Arsenal's immediate and long-term future, and he should be a permanent feature. 2. Phil Foden. Anyone who watched Man City's comprehensive 3-1 battering of Chelsea knows just how deadly Phil Foden can be. Stationed out on the left wing, the 20-year-old fired off 3 shots and created 4 chances, leading to a goal and assist, in arguably the Citizens' best display since the 2018-19 season. But those who have watched the Stockport-born youngster this season will know it was no fluke. He's been magnificent whenever he's played, racking up 4 goals and 3 assists in 17 League and Champions League appearances. The issue is that just 11 of those have been starts, with the game against Chelsea just his second in the league since the 17th of October. With Guardiola seeing Foden as an inverted winger rather than a like-for-like David Silva replacement, he's having to compete with Sterling, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva and Ferran Torres for a spot on the wings. But his tally of 0.63 expected goals and assists per 90, a figure only topped by De Bruyne and Mahrez and Pep's squad, suggests he should start when fit. If Pep continues to pick him and De Bruyne continues to excel in a central role, there is no reason they cannot extend their 7-match unbeaten run, and who knows, maybe end up with a 5th title in 10 years next May. 1. Billy Gilmour. After losing just one of their opening 11 league games of the season, Chelsea's form has completely collapsed, with 4 points from a possible 18 seeing them drop to 9th, 7 points off leaders Liverpool. Where once Lampard could point to injuries to Pulisic, Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi, he had a pretty much full squad available for Man City except for Reece James, making the defeat that much more troubling. Having missed 22 games with injury last term, 29-year-old N'Golo Kante has been an ever-present this term, with no Blues player topping his 1,481 league minutes to date. And whilst his 93 completed tackles and interceptions this term is 11 more than next best Anguissa, his performance against Man City suggests he either needs a rest or some assistance. Step forward Billy Gilmour. The 19-year-old Scot has only been given 129 minutes of League and Champions League action this season. But in his 6 Premier League appearances last term, he averaged 3.6 tackles and interceptions and barely put a foot wrong. If Lampard wants to regain some momentum, it might be time to permanently shift Jorginho and give Gilmour a run in the side over the fatigued Kante. So guys, that was 10 young stars who need to be promoted to the first team or bought to save your club's season. What did you guys think of the list? Do you actually see any of these happening? Let me know in the comments down below. As I said earlier, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!